Whether you're in North or South Carolina or anywhere else in the world, enter the Cat Cave with D. White and Shannon Smith, a part of the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network, where you can find shows such as Winning the Division and Inside the Vault. Welcome back to the Cat Cave. I'm Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty, holding down Western North Carolina, and I'm joined by my man, D Beast, from the Northeast of North Carolina, D. White. My brother, man, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm excited. It's a good Sunday coming up. I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, today's show is going to be the preview for week one of our Carolina Panthers rolling into Jacksonville, Florida to play the Jacksonville Jaguars 1 o'clock on Sunday. But before we begin, all I want to say is, whether it's high school, whether it's youth, whether it's college, whether it's pros, welcome back, tackle, dadgum football. Welcome back. It has been a while. It has been a while, but we are going to see some pro football. We saw some college football this past week. Big slate of games. Wonderful slate of games, but we're going to have our pro football this coming week starting on Thursday. Want to send a special shout out to my man Ryan Frick, who did this show with me a season and a half. Ryan is going after his stand-up comedy dreams, and he's still watching football, still a big South Carolina Gamecock fan, still watching the Carolina Panthers. We talk back and forth about football and the show. So if you're watching, Ryan, appreciate you, man. Thank you for giving me this start. But I want to also give a shout out to you, my man, to you, D. We're going to be going on a bi-weekly journey, 17 weeks of football, talking about these Panthers. I'm going to tell you what, I'm looking forward to it, my man. It's our first time doing this together, and it begins right now. How excited are you, man?
Dude, I'm super happy. I feel like I'm talking like Bryce Young, like I'm super everything, like I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm super grateful. So like all these good college games. Shout out to Ryan. His South Carolina Gamecocks came up big. I'm happy, man. I'm so ready.
Man,
I'm so ready.
You're right, man. I got good friends of mine. You know, Dez, of course, is covering high school football in the Triad area of North Carolina. I got a buddy, my man Sean Lucas, covering high school football, Grit and Grind podcast. He's covering it out there in Eastern North Carolina, that Nash County area. I've been watching the show. His show has dropped for week 3. I've been watching it a lot. And, of course, you know, all the college ball, everything was great until Monday, when Carolina absolutely laid a big old egg on Monday. Hurt my feelings a lot. I've been hearing it from all my buddies who despise the Tar Heels. Oh, I've been hearing it. But, you know, it's cool. We still got more football to watch. Looking forward to it. We will go ahead and get into it. Week 1, we get to talk about a meaningful football game. For the first time on this podcast together, you and I, D, we get to talk about a meaningful football game as we will be seeing the Carolina Panthers. Our Carolina Panthers going on the road to Jacksonville over at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, doing the research here, I remember when Carolina came into the league, inaugural season, Jacksonville had their inaugural season the same year in good old 1996. So, yes. And when in the time that they have played each other, they're actually neck and neck in the head-to-head matchup overall, 4 games to 4. And of course, the last time the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Panthers met, it was on New Year's Eve, 2023. Bryce's rookie year. Jacksonville shut us out 26-0. And of course, the David Tepper drink incident happened on that day. D, before we get into the preview, let's talk about that, 2 years into it. And what were your thoughts on that, man?
The whole organization just looked like trash from top to bottom. It seemed unprofessional. It seemed unprepared. It seemed unmotivated. It just seemed like everybody was just tired. Everybody was frustrated. We're drafting constantly in the lottery. We're expecting wins. We're expecting some kind of growth, and absolutely nothing happened. So it was frustrating. Not just for me, but obviously as Panther fans, as fans of football, to have not only your favorite team but your local team being that washed, it's disappointing, almost to the point of depression.
Definitely. I remember Ryan and I talking about this, after that happened. We were texting back and forth at that time, and he said he just really do that, and it was rough watching. It was rough seeing because no one wants to. You don't want to see that. You don't, especially with it being your favorite team, no matter who it is. It is a unprofessional move. Absolutely, it is an embarrassment. You know, it is very embarrassing. But as time goes on, years progress, we're almost 2 seasons away from that. So this time around, let's hope for the best in this week here. Let's go ahead and get into some actual talk of this game. What we're going to do here on the show, I'll be previewing the Jacksonville Jaguars. D here is going to be previewing the Carolina Panthers. We're going to come together after we preview these teams, talk about what we expect from the Panthers, and that will be our show. So we will go ahead and begin talking some football, some trench work, some passing, some running, some defense, some special teams. We're going to be able to talk about that now. And we'll go ahead and begin with the home team. We'll go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. That will be what I'm tasked with. Jacksonville and Carolina are kind of in the same boat as far as rebuilding and having new coaches, new personnel. With Jacksonville, they have a new coach. They're out with the old and in with the new. Doug Peterson, his days are over in Jacksonville as of the end of last season. They enter in with a new coach, but of course, Liam Cohen is their new head coach. We all know Liam Cohen. Duval. When he done that big, memes all over the place, everything, we all laughed. We all had a good time with that. It was very cringy, as the kids would say. As my niece would say, it was very cringy. But other than that, it's his first game as a head coach in the NFL. He has been an offensive coordinator, been a quarterback coach, been a receiver coach in college and in the NFL. His recent stint as an offensive coordinator was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. Now, of course, with the quirkiness of Liam Cohen, this guy can coach some offensive football. He can. I'm pretty sure he can. I know, you can get distracted by that, but Jacksonville knows something that we don't, and that's why he got put with the job. Now, this bodes well for us having a first year coach because this is his first year as a head coach. He's putting in his scheme with the Jacksonville Jaguars in practice. But also, too, it does well for Carolina because it's practice, not the game. We're talking about practice. Practice. So we don't know. We don't know what we're going to see out of him because he doesn't have a game situation under his belt as a head coach. And we move forward also, too, due to the prior experience that he's had. He knows what he's doing. He's probably going to call this offense. I'm pretty sure he'll be calling the offense. I don't know if he'll be leaving that to the offense coordinator. We're not sure exactly. But I think he'll be calling this offense. Now, week 1 last year for Jacksonville, they had a heartbreaker to the Miami Dolphins. Travis Etienne with the fumble. Dolphins go down the field, score the game winner to Tagovailoa, to Tyreek Hill. And that set the tone for their season going 4-13. Last year was the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, leading up to it, Liam Cohen, no stranger to the Panthers, offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the 2 games, he utilized a guy by the name of Bucky Irvin. Showed what he can do with the receiving out of the backfield with Bucky Irvin. And I think this year he will do more of the same. The offensive line really not that great for Jacksonville. Travis Etienne has had a down year last year. Him, Tank Bigsby, their new young man from Virginia Tech, they may be cycling in those running backs. He'll be a running back by committee this year. They'll be using them in the backfield, passing the football. So don't expect a lot of the running game, but also, too, with Carolina, the running game, stopping the run has been a factor. So seeing that Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby may be playing in this game, may have a backfield attack, passing the football. Now, a big question for Jacksonville. Which Trevor Lawrence will we see? Trevor Lawrence has had shades of greatness. He's had shades of being great in the NFL. Got them their first playoff win in a long time over the Los Angeles Chargers. He got his money. Then last year, injuries slowed him down, and it was a tough outing for him. Now, Liam Cohen is known as a quarterback changer, just like Dave Canales is known as a quarterback changer. So you got 2 guys who are going to be working with 2 young quarterbacks right now. Liam Cohen going to be working with Trevor Lawrence with this offense here. So he's feeling confident. Trevor Lawrence is feeling confident. And he'll be looking to hook up with second-year wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Early and often, Brian Thomas Jr. in his rookie year, 87 catches, over close to 1,300 yards receiving, and 10 touchdowns in his rookie year. So Trevor Lawrence is going to want to utilize that forward pass. That forward pass is going to be something that Carolina wants to get done. With what Jacksonville wants to get done, they're going to test that secondary for Carolina. See if J.C. Horn earned his money. So that's going to be something that they're going to want to do. And on the defensive side of the ball, the 2 edge rushers, Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen, accounted for 18.5 sacks last year. Now, the pass rush was towards the bottom of the NFL last year, even with those 2 guys. But with that being said, still, you don't want those guys in the backfield. They accounted for 5 sacks between the 2 in the last outing against Jacksonville and Carolina. And, of course, the special teams led by Pro Bowler Logan Cook is what we'll be seeing. So Jacksonville wants to get that forward pass going. They want to get that backfield receiving the ball out of the backfield. They want to get to Bryce Young via Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. So that's what I see out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, D, let's talk about these Carolina Panthers.
Man, where can we start? I'll go ahead and start with some injuries. So far, the team is mostly healthy except for Ikem Ekwonu. Unfortunately, he had an appendectomy recently, and he's day to day. It's no guarantee he will play. I mean, a lot of people aren't expecting him to play with just having surgery. So, I mean, that's one position we might need to be concerned about. But other than him, Damian Lewis is back, Chandler Zavala, Austin Corbett's healthy this year, Jalen Coker unfortunately is on IR. However, we were able to not necessarily replace him, but kind of get somebody in that spot for now. For at least the next 4 to 6 weeks, we'll be able to see Hunter Renfro on his way back, his first year back since his injury, well, his disease that he got. Uh, T Mac is healthy. JC Horn's healthy this year. Dak Brown's healthy. It's they're getting a lot of help back. They're getting a lot of these players that they wanted to count on last year. Um, and that's just the beginning of it. We're going fairly healthy. That's always good. The Panthers as a whole, obviously, everybody's looking towards Bryce Young being year three, second year with head coach Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer. We're going to be looking for Bryce Young to show what he showed in that first preseason game, being able to kind of direct his players, play with a good pace, not force anything. However, the line has to still show up. I know during the preseason it was kind of picky because he wasn't exactly playing with his first string line every game. So we're looking for Bryce Young to continue to progress, show some of the success he had last year. He got his new number one target in T Mac, who everybody's expecting to have a really good year, possibly rookie of the year, well, offensive rookie of the year. Xavier Leggett, second year, he's looking stronger. Jatavion Sanders, second year, he's looking stronger. Mitchell Evans coming up. He has options this year. Now that's not to say that he's gonna excel and be like top five quarterback in the league because we're not expecting that. We got to temper expectations because again, these are young players. His number one player is still a rookie. The run game we're looking for, we got Chuba. Obviously, we're gonna play through the run. We got Rico Dowdle, who is gonna be a good change of pace. Provides the same exact thing that Chuba does. Perhaps might be better catching. So we're really not losing anything in the run game. It's just that I hope that the Panthers don't just settle for one or the other. We have to have a healthy dose of both because when the Panthers have shown that they can run the ball, it opens everything up. And last year we only had Chuba, and when he was banged up, the offense kind of settled a couple times. So we're not looking for them to settle. We're looking for them to have a good balance. And the balance should be even better this year with Rico, with ETN in the back, because he also showed that he can play during the preseason as well. Uh, Defensively, we're looking for a lot. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Defensively, we're looking for a lot. I'm gonna go over the unofficial official depth chart for the defense really quick. Surprisingly, Bobby Brown isn't starting. So we're looking at Tershawn Wharton, Ashawn Robinson, and Derek Brown, the front three. We got Patrick Jones, Trevin Wallace, Christian Roseboom, and DJ Wanham behind him, our second level. And we have Mike Jackson, JC Horn, Trevon Merrick, and Nick Scott got that starting position at safety. So I think we're kind of looking for two things when it comes to defense. One, a lot of people have noticed that, our run defense, we can't stop anything for the last few years. So with that rebuilt front, we're hoping that a healthy Derek Brown, Tershawn Wharton coming in, and Bobby Brown showing everything he did from the Rams can all combine and show a good run stopping defense, at least on the first level. Now, Christian Roseboom and Trevor Wallace, we're all expecting them to have better years because again, last year we couldn't accurately judge the linebackers because we couldn't stop anything by the time the play started. the defensive linemen were already in the faces of the linebackers, and it's like reactionary. You can't stop anything if everybody's already there as soon as the play starts. Obviously, we got Princey Umam we got Nick Scorton back. He's healthy, he's feeling good. That should help with DJ Wanham. That should help with Patrick Jones. Um, Keeping these guys healthy. That's the biggest thing, because if we keep them healthy, that pass rush should be able to come alive, especially if we're running Derek Brown. Now, being his first game back, first full game back, I don't think Panther fans should expect him to play the full defensive series. Now, it would be nice to have him, but at the same time, he had a significant knee injury. Let's not expect him to play the full game, because we don't want to just rush him back. He's looking healthy, he's looking strong, but we can't just depend on him. We figured out last year, depending on Derek Brown, and then he got hurt, it hurt everything. So we kind of got to bring him on slowly. So that's what I'm hoping to see from Derek Brown and the usage of Derek Brown. Let's bring him back slowly. Let's evaluate how well he's doing and go off that. The Panthers as a whole, the defense, Coach Evero, we're looking for a big season from him as well, because we can't continue to make excuses. This is year 3. This is year 3 of bringing in players that he's familiar with that still weren't able to do anything. However, his only caveat is that we were hurt. Every year it's the same thing. We're hurt. He's playing with second or third stringers. He's trying to do this, he's trying to do that. But at the same time, that can only go a certain level. That's only getting us so far, because we're sitting watching the same defense. We're sitting watching the same guys play 5, 10, 15 yards off of our players. The cornerbacks are just sitting there letting these players catch the ball and getting these yards, and these small yards are adding up, and it's killing us. We're going to be seeing if they're going to let JC travel, or if they're going to let him shade the number 1 receiver like he's wanted to do, like the fans have wanted to see. He's a number 1 cornerback. We need him to play like a number 1 cornerback, and he can. However, having him on the second, third option isn't doing us any good. So that's another thing. Trevon Merrick, a lot of these players that we got in are designed to stop the run. Now we need to see if we can stop the pass as well. If we can stop the pass, if we can show a decent pass rush, we're golden. We don't need perfection. We don't need a constant bend, don't break mentality. We need competitive players. And it seems like we've got some of them. It seems like in year 2 of Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, we got some dogs. We got some people that can actually play in the positions that we need. We just got to put it together. And just like you said about Jacksonville, these guys are still, they're still building on their what they're teaching. We're not necessarily in the install phase, because it's year 2 again. They should know fairly what they're going to be doing. However, our leg up is their coach is a first year head coach. Our coach isn't anymore. He kind of knows what to expect. Jacksonville may have a few growing pains. We should be able to get over some of these growing pains, because we have a third-year quarterback. We have J.C. Horn. We have Derek Brown. We have Trevon Merrick. We have Roseboom. We have Mike Jack. We have these players that have been in this system long enough to know. So that's what we're expecting. Special teams, we're expecting Fitzgerald to, be that player that we picked. He showed that he had a good leg. He didn't miss during his opportunities in the preseason. ETN is going to be our return man, apparently. That's surprising. Not necessarily bad, just surprising. He gets a option. He gets to show what he can do. We also have Jimmy Horn. We have Renfro if need be. We have options now, and this is better. This is a better roster from the bottom up than we've had in a while. And I say bottom up because we had no depth before. And in certain positions, some of that is still questionable. Now, with our starters, we know what we're expecting. However, we need, when these guys get a rest, when they need a break, we need our depth guys to be able to come in there and not necessarily be the starters, but maybe then, yeah, let's have that bend on break. Let's show that we have some kind of fortitude to us, some strength. I mean, Corey Thornton, he's shown that all preseason he's going to get an opportunity. With Nick Scott starting, we're going to have Damani Richardson and Latham Ransom behind him that may get looks as well. So that's mostly what I'm looking for. That's what a lot of us Panther fans are looking for. Let's see if we can get Bryce Young started. Let's see if T Mac can go and be that player. Let's see if Xavier Leggett can show that he worked on his hands, and let's show that Panthers tough run the ball mentality that we've missed for a long time. That is my Panthers outlook for this week.
Oh man, so that is a good bit of information going into this, as both of these teams have been broken down. We look at the tendencies of these teams. Of course, with it being week one, we know nothing yet because these teams have not played. So they're going to be looking to instill their strategy, going in what they've gotten from preseason into OTAs, and they're going to instill into that. What I expect out of Jacksonville in this game, I expect for them to test this defensive backfield. I expect for Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball. I expect for him to do it. I expect for him to throw the ball in different ways to different guys. But more than anything, Brian Thomas Jr. is the guy that he wants to get the ball to, been a downfield threat. Want to see if J.C. Horn, and I agree with you 100%. J.C. Horn better be on Brian Thomas Jr. He better be on him in this game because he's getting number one corner money. So put him on your number one guy and let that man play against him and see what he is made of. With Brian Thomas Jr. being his second year, there's always an opening for a sophomore slump at any time. There always is. But with the way that these receivers are coming into the NFL, I also expect for Tedor McMillan to have a good game as well too. I expect for Bryce to throw the ball. I do expect for that to happen. Of course, we've been talking about this summer. We don't expect Bryce to throw the ball 20 and 30 times a game. We don't. But we do expect for the downfield, for the long pass to be utilized. He has a weapon, a big receiver, a big young receiver that he can throw the ball to. He shouldn't be afraid to go down the field a few times to test this defensive backfield with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, too, I expect for the running game to have a cameo because this front four outside of the two edge rushers, I don't expect for them to slow down to Chuba Hubbard. I don't expect for them to slow down to Rico Dowdle. I don't expect that because I think that Carolina has the line to push that defensive line backwards and have Chuba run and have Chuba go and do what he does. That's get in between those gaps. Get outside of the tackles and run the football. Because Chuba's one of those guys. He runs with his shoulders. He's a heavy runner, and he's a load to bring down. And Rico Dowdle, of course, bouncing it outside. He can do the same thing. He did it in Dallas last year. He can do it this year. I do expect that. I do expect for Jacksonville to utilize their passing game. I expect for them to look to cover. I don't know if they have an answer for Tedor McMillan. I don't think they do in the defensive backfield, but that's yet to be determined. So this game is going to be competitive. I think it will. These two teams from last year not doing so well, they have nothing to lose. I think this is going to be a fun game. Jacksonville is going to have to get ahead early in order to beat Carolina. They didn't do that last year in week one. It cost them. This time around, I believe Liam Cohen is telling these guys that they've got to get ahead early. They've got to establish it in the beginning. They can't let this go down to close quarters. They have to put it away, especially at home. And Carolina is looking at it as well, too. they have to jump on Jacksonville early, and they have to put it away on the road.
Agreed.
So, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. If I'm Jacksonville, I am targeting a historically bad pass rush. Our pass rushers, they need to show up early. They need to show up often. They need to be the players that we paid them to be. Now, we're expecting, well, we're hoping that these guys can produce, get some quarterback hurries, get some hands on the quarterback, whatever. But after a very bad year, I'm expecting them to test our defensive line early. Let's run the ball, see what Panthers got, see if they can stop it. If they can't stop it, we're gonna run it. We're gonna waste this time. If they can stop it, let's taste JC. Let's see if he's healthy. That's what I'm expecting. I'm thinking they're gonna try to establish that run first, and if they can't, then they're gonna test. But if they can establish that run, I think we're gonna be in for a long, long day.
I understand that as well. One of the things about Trevor Lawrence that has helped him as well too is he does have a little bit of mobility when it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to that play action. When it comes down to rolling out and getting away and throwing the ball and getting separation inside outside of that pocket, he can make that happen. But also too, Carolina's got to get there. They've got to get hands in his face. That was one thing that has to be understood. Carolina's last year, they did not rush the passer a lot. Same with Jacksonville. Even though they have the two edge rushers that get it done, no one else got to the quarterback as much as they did. So those two guys, they have to be utilized right there. Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, they have to be taken out of the game. You have to get them out of there. They have to be neutralized. Somebody's got to make a play on that defense, and it's not got to be those two. So that's going to be the main thing. Bryce has to make sure that he is got his eyes up the field, got his eyes going, because those guys will come out there and they'll get him. 5 sacks
Oh
the
yeah.
last time they met. So this is going to be interesting to see. With all that being said, Jacksonville is favored 2.5 points in this game. D, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Carolina steals this one. I think they steal it.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I'm looking at the comments of Willie Smith. He's saying he believes that BY is the better quarterback. And using last game against Atlanta, our offense scored a lot. I think we're gonna we're going to miss the beat on. I don't think we're gonna miss the beat on scoring. Can Jacksonville keep up? I agree. I think we're able to steal one. I think we're able to get out of here, and we're going to see a little bit of Bryce Young showing, some of what he showed last year in Atlanta with better weapons. Unfortunately, we don't have Thielen, but we got Renfro.
Yep.
We don't have Thielen, but we got McMillan. We
Right.
got Rico.
Right.
And instead of having Miles Sanders, who he didn't have a great game, we got Rico Dowdle. So our run game shouldn't miss a beat. I'm thinking we steal it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we steal it by a significant amount. Now, I'm sure if we don't, I'm gonna be very pissed off. But I mean, with B Young showing the player that he was last year, T Mac, I'm expecting some kind of great catch from him. I'm expecting them to test the field with Leggett, maybe a Horn Jr., Renfro. I'm expecting him to dice up some people, maybe get a few Achilles injuries. I'm hoping for a lot. I think we can do it. The team seems to have bought in, and I think Bryce Young is definitely the better quarterback right now. Um, so a steal is quite possible.
I agree with yours and Willie's comments talking about Trevor not being, Bryce being the better quarterback as opposed to Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor is good, and he could be a sleeper
Mhm.
in this season. Of course, with the Brian Thomas Jr. having him there. But
And
that
Hunter.
running game to me is what's going to scare me if I were Jacksonville is the inability of running the football. Travis Etienne taking a step back, Tank Bigsby taking a step back. They've got the young man from Vitek. I don't know if he'll be into the game, but also too, Liam Cohen has not said anything about the depth chart. Hadn't released the official depth chart for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so we're not sure exactly. I'm pretty sure it'll probably come up sometime either like later this week, probably tomorrow. Um, but we don't know what we're going to see. But for the most part, this is going to be a quarterback duel to me. Who's going to be the better quarterback? Because Trevor Lawrence, he still has enough to prove. I mean, he's sub 500 in his win loss record as a quarterback as well too. And I think it's 22-38, if I'm not mistaken, is his record as a quarterback in the NFL. Now, Bryce's, of course, is not all that well as well too. But given that Trevor Lawrence, had his, cut the injury, he had injury and he was hurt at one point in time. And the last time Carolina played Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence didn't even play because he was hurt. At that time, he was hurt. So this is something that we will see a test in this. Who is going to be the better quarterback? Who's going to make the least amount of mistakes? Who is going to get the ball into their playmakers' hands? Who's going to conduct that huddle? Who's going to get that offense going? Because could this be a shootout? It could be. It could be a shootout because these are new look offenses right now with the youth of Carolina, with the youth of Jacksonville. These are going to be, this could be a shootout. It could not be. But more than anything, these defenses have got to make stops as well, too, because I think these guys are going to get their yards. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get his yards. I think Bryce is going to get his yards. Ted Thomas Jr., Chuba Hubbard, I think they're going to get their yards, but the defenses are going to be the ones that are going to have to make the stops. They may not be punishing, might not be a defensive. It may not be a defensive masterclass like we've seen in college football this past week. It may not be that, but at the end of the day, the defense have got to make stops. There's got to be stops made on defense. They have to do it, but I see Carolina stealing this one. Any last words we say before the sign off?
I think this game has a chance to be over by halftime, depending on how these teams react. It is the first game. It is the first time that our starters are going to be playing a full game. It's the first time that some of our rookies are getting the actual taste of real NFL. No breaks, no preseason. It's not just one or two series. You got to fight. Bryce he has to show that the last half of last year wasn't a fluke.
Oh yeah.
Canales has to show that last year that the games that we could have won that we're able to win now because we have guys healthy now. Last year guys were hurt. It's always guys are hurt. We can't do this, we can't do that. We're not a complete team yet. We're still trying to build. None of that stuff matters. We're 0-0. These guys are professional players. Let's play like it. Let's show that we are the better team, the team that had 2 years to get this style of offense and style of defense. Let's show what we've been building towards. We're not expecting a Super Bowl, although it would be nice, but we're expecting more than 5 wins. This could be one of those wins. This should be one of those wins because we have enough players. We have good players. We just need them to put it together. Give me a decent game. Give me everything you got, and let's see how this season is going to carry based off this one game.
Definitely. I like it. We will end it on that note. Thank you for joining us on this live going into your afternoon. Thank you for joining us. You may now exit the cat cave. We're close, everybody. Sunday will be the first game, week 1, Carolina versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week to analyze it and lead it on into week 2. For Shannon Smith, this is D White. Thank you very much. Go Panthers.
Keep pounding.